Hello again, Ian Stokey with Mastermind Games, back with the final of the effigies from Malifaux, Shadow. Dark Elf Skin, 09164, and Shadow Effigy is tied to the 10 Thunders. And actually, he and Lucky were not part of the original set of effigies, but rather showed up in 2nd edition. The effigies first appeared in 1st edition, and then when 2nd edition came out, they were introduced to tie into the new factions. 10 Thunders appeared at the end of 1st edition, and Gremlins went from being part of the Outcasts to a faction in their own right, and they've now been changed to Bayou. Alright. And I'm going to leave it at that for now. Back in a minute. Okay. Shield Brown, 09161. I'll be a little cat. Man, boy, I don't know why I keep whispering. Being careful. The inner side not to nick the flesh. Or anything else. Again, Shadow Effigy is a puppet. Though his emissary form, he's a long serpentine dragon, but there's also a different model in 10 Thunders called a Dawn Serpent that is a long dragon as well. So. Be careful on his shoes. I think that's good. Plate mail metal. Let's get the entire knife in this. Alright. Move on when it dries. Alright. Leather White 09062. It took a minute for me to figure out exactly how I was going to do this, but I've got it figured out now. This brush is getting a bit too feathered to use for details, so I'm going to swap out. So not quite what you expect for a ninja, but then again, Scorpion and Sub-Zero from Mortal Kombat don't exactly strike the traditional ninja mold either on their color schemes. Here we go. Fair number of undercuts here as well. But not as bad as other models. Excuse me. I'm feeling kind of funky again. It's just that time of the year for colds and whatnot. Big old jug of alcohol. At least that's what's usually in a jug like this. And much like Brutal Effigy, when it first showed up, Ten Thunders tried to annihilate Shadow until they realized it was helping them. In any case, the failed ascension of Governor Kitchener turned the effigies from puppets into wild cards. So, since the Ten Thunders associated color is orange, that's what's prompting me to go for a brighter color scheme on Shadow Effigy here. There's some cloth on his hat. Beads will be picked out in another color later, but they're kind of resting on the cloth there. Okay. I'll let that try and move on a bit. Alright. Sun Yellow 09008. So this one is going to take at least 2 coats, so I'll do one on camera, one off camera. Oh boy. And there she goes. Oh boy. Okay. Carefully. I just want to get the tunic, not anything else, if I can avoid it. That said, that banner on Shadow's back is going to present some challenges to this, and I've already nicked it. Well, that'll come out when I do the shading. At least reasonably well. So this might have been another model where a partial assembly would have been advised, but outside of my personal distaste for doing that. It's kind of a tricky one with the pieces on his back kind of being essential for, what's the word, for structural support of other pieces. Plus all that bric-a-brac on his back was a bit of a pain to get on. Refreshing my paint as needed. Now that is a little too thick there. Okay, refreshing my paint as needed. Trying to keep the paintbrush moist but not overly wet. Let's see if I can get this a little lower and get a better view. Well, maybe not. Alright. Let that dry and apply a second coat before wrapping up. Alright. Next, Phoenix Red 09005, and this will also need a second coat. Well, and it's not mixed up well enough. Much better. So having the brighter light definitely helps, but can make it a little difficult to see as it casts some more extreme shadows than what I was doing previously. However, this is an improvement. Now there's also this rune here, this letter I'm not sure what it is, but alright. Shield Brown 0916. No, not Shield Brown. Fur Brown. Grab the wrong brown. Now this is going on the ropes. Silly straps for the sandals. Into the rope, tying the jug to the back. As well as the cork. uniform gray for the base. It may not be enough, but then again it might. Okay, get a second coat on the red, and then that's base coats. Okay, time to shade. Now I picked out these charms on the hat in the plate mail metal off camera. I kind of changed my mind about how I was going to do that. So I'm going to start with Ruddy Leather 09109. Using 1 part water to 1 part paint, I'll thin it into a wash. And apply to the base coat as carefully as I can. Blackened Steel 09205. So I still have some focusing issues, but it's much better than it used to be with this new rig. However, still room for improvement, looks like. And Fire Red 09004. Just plug up. So, paperclip down the nozzle on this one's. Well, that one's not going to work. Let's see. This will do. Just a piece of metal rod. I usually use this when I'm pinning. You're doing a pinch. And I knocked my brush for a loop. Well, it's getting interesting. At least that's how I'm going to put it. Okay. Once that dries, I can move on to the next color to be shaded. Okay. Next, Marigold Yellow 09007. This is not easy the way the bottle and banner are placed. And Woodstain Brown 09160. Now, I won't be highlighting the bottom of the hat, but I will be painting it. Or shading it, excuse me. Shoes. Okay. There's the white, the skin tone, and the face, so just about there. Okay. Linen white 09061. Just have to be cautious here. Okay. Stormy Gray 09088. Okay, that's just going to leave the skin for shading. And after that, I can get the lighting effect in the eye started. Okay, things are still wet, but I'm going to take a chance here. Dark Elf Shadow 09163. Okay. Need to absorb some of this spillover around the neck here and shirt, but I got it. So once this dries up, I can start and do the lighting effects and then go from there. Next. Okay. I hope this is getting audio. Matte white. And using the same amount of water as a base coat, in other words, just enough to thin the paint. Fill in the eyes carefully and prep this for a lighting effect and have them glowing like on all the other effigies. So once that dries, I can move on. Okay. Lemon Yellow 09009. Thinning it out into a wash with 2 to 3 parts water to 1 part paint for a lighting effect. And filling in. Once that dries completely, I can highlight and wrap up. Okay, highlighting. Switching to a dry brushing technique. Dark Elf Highlight 09165. Using a ragged feather brush, straight paint, no water, rubbing most of the paint out on a paper towel. And I found that a paper towel works best, and dusting across the area to be applied, going against any raised edges. The only brush completely dry, so I am swapping out fairly freely. Driftwood Brown 09162. Yeah. next. Ghost White 09063. Making sure I'm not dropping hundreds of frames a second. Also, I'm focusing on the readily visible surfaces only, not every single surface. Lemon Yellow 09009. No, wait, I forgot part of the brush race before I do that, but forgot to do that little bit on the hat. Now the lemon yellow. It'll come out of the bottle. There we go. Fire Orange 09006. Which is not mixed well enough. Give that a little more. Okay. System's starting to act up again, but I'm almost done. Tech can be great when it works, but that's the kicker. Burnt Orange 09111. Just thinner one for this. Yeah, there we go. Come on, there we go. True Silver 09207. Misty Gray 09090. Uh-oh. There we go. And matte black. And switching to a flat brush. Just lining the edge to finish up. Keeping just enough water in the brush to thin the paint. Trying to avoid the basing I've done. And that is Shadow Effigy. Switching to Warhammer 40,000 related for a bit. Oh boy. Okay, there we go. Till next time, I am Ian Stokey with Mastermind Games, signing out.